Between the Buried and Me. Thank you for taking some time to answer some questions for us today. So this is the second night of your tour with Meshuggah, and it's their 25th anniversary tour, which must be a really big honor to be included as part of.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. We toured with them 6 years ago in Europe, and yeah, a lot has changed for us in 6 years. You know, musically, obviously we're 6 years older, and we don't often get the opportunity to meet back up with another band that we've toured with that long ago. Now, and it's pretty cool, and we don't do a lot of support tours now either. I mean, the last one we did was over a year ago with Coheed and Cambria, so it's kind of cool to end this cycle for the record with a tour, with the band that we toured with before, that's celebrating a large milestone in their career. And, it's summertime. It's a great way to go out. Why not?
Yeah, definitely. And bringing up your album. So I believe you just finished recording a live DVD, or have yet to? Oh, you just finished. Yeah. They're going to be releasing in the fall. Can you tell us a little bit about what the inspiration for that was and what we can expect from that DVD? Yeah.
Well, we did a DVD in 2008 for our record Colors. And we did just a big performance, show sort of thing, like a very typical live DVD, and it was fun. It was pretty stressful, you just have one go, and you're out of your element with the cameras and all this stuff. But the show itself, I remember just being so amazing, and it was great to capture that with not too many flubs on our end. And for this one, we wanted to scale back. Like, our live show had gotten larger, and we had big light production and video stuff, and we felt like it was really important, this day and age in 2014, for a band like us to show 5 dudes in the same room playing music. It's in a great studio in North Carolina. We shot it at, and we invited, a good group of auxiliary musicians, and I wrote up like string charts for a string quartet. We had, tuba from the record and sax, bass clarinet, flute.
Very cool. And speaking about other musical projects of yours, you did a couple dates with your other band as well, Trioscapes. And can you speak a little bit about what that was like to kind of, first of all, that project, and also to play both bands in one night? I think that must be an interesting experience.
It was intense. It was really intense. Trioscapes has been around for a few years now, and we've always done a bit of touring in between the Buried and Me tours, and all on the East Coast, and into Canada, Ontario, and Quebec and stuff. This was an opportunity to finally come across the country a bit and play cities that we hadn't played before. Obviously played big crowds between the Buried and Me, and I was thankful that our manager brought it up, and was thankful that that I get to play with 4 other guys in between the Buried and Me that are very supportive of the fact that to musically satisfy me is just kind of impossible, and I just have so many different facets of places I want to go musically, and it's just an important thing for my creative drive to be able to do all the different stuff. And the music I write in Trioscapes is just as important as the music I write in Between the Buried and Me, and it's for the joy of playing music and doing that. So that's what this last week has kind of been. It's been a fun trip of both worlds. It was great. We played the last Trioscapes show we played was a gnarly house show in North Hollywood on Thursday, the other day, and it was just so much fun. It just crammed like 100 people in this house. It was a great vibe, and for being our first show in that area, it was just incredible.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw some Instagram videos of that house party.
Oh, really?
So it looked
Cool.
very sweaty and really like a lot of good energy.
Yeah,
so
it was fun.
Very cool. And then kind of, you said that it would be hard for one band to really satisfy your musical genius or outpouring. Can you speak a little bit about your influences or what you're listening to right now?
Yeah, it's always kind of all over the place. You know, I'm back in the mindset now of working on the next Between the Buried and Me record, and I've been writing a lot of material over the last 2 years since the last one came out, but it's always in little spurts, and it always goes through so many revisions. Even before I will show it to Paul, Tommy, Dusty, and Blake, it's just, in my mind, it has to be to a point where it could end up on the record as it is, sort of thing. To that degree, you know, I'm in the mindset now where the music I'm listening to and the things that I'm kind of putting into my musical subconscious are things that I, you know, kind of don't mind directly affecting what I'm working on and what I'm writing. And, you know, we definitely love the format of writing a conceptual story, musically and lyrically, visually with the artwork. For that, you know, I'm always looking backwards at, you know, great musical pieces like Quadrophenia by The Who, The Wall by Pink Floyd, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway by Genesis. And these are records that are they're just always a part of me, and that are a constant source of inspiration. And I feel 2 years after, you know, writing The Parallax 2, you know, I'm in a different place. We feel like we're all in different places. Since then, you know, I recorded a Trioscapes record, wrote and recorded that. I recorded a record with my other band, Orbs. And, yeah, I'm really excited. To do it.
Kind of on a lighter note, do you have any guilty pleasure kind of music that you listen to that you'd almost be embarrassed if someone caught you singing in the car?
I mean,
or
you know,
you just own all your music?
Yeah, I do kind of, but you know, there's you know, I can't play some of that Genesis stuff with, you know, with some people in the car. They'd just be like, "Dan, what the hell are you listening to?" Even Peter Gabriel era. But you know, I think there's stuff from the 90s that we all in the band grew up with that some people who were maybe born, you know, 5 or 6 years later might be like, "How do you listen to this?" You know, Bush is one of those bands that, you know, I can still put on 16 Stone and sing most of the words and just rock out, and Oasis, you know, or Genesis. But again, that's like music that inspires me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you guys make a lot of really cool merch, in my opinion. I love like the space suit that you guys did, and I'm a big, you know, space nut, so I love all the NASA kind of inspired like fonts and everything you use. Is there anything you guys haven't made yet that you want to see kind of Between the Buried and Me-ified?
At some point, maybe after this tour, we were working on some bathing suits,
Oh, very
some swimming
cool.
trunks, which is something that it was just an idea. Figured it was summertime. Figured it was a good idea, and that's kind of a fun thing. I don't know. I mean, we've got the idea to. I mean, our guitarist Paul's been working on a signature coffee blend. We've got all kinds of stuff. You know, it's just. And just like with the spacesuits were just like this fun idea that we had, you know, like, you know, Tommy and I were talking about it. We were like, well, we should do spacesuits. Sent it to the manager, who then got in touch with the merch company, and they were like, well, here's a quote on, you know, the workman suits we would use, and this is about how much they would be. Do you think we could sell them for this amount? And we're like, might as well try, and they sold out. So, well, the spacesuits especially, I mean, there's nothing more rewarding to me than looking out in the crowd and seeing, you know, a BT Bam cosmonaut, or seeing like one of them stage dive, you know, and just being that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So you are a vegan, if I'm correct, yes. Have you had any chance while in San Francisco to kind of visit any of our local vegan restaurants?
Absolutely. We
Okay,
just went
cool.
to Thai Idea,
Nice.
and that place is unreal. I mean, to see a full, you know, Thai menu in vegan and vegetarian options. Absolutely incredible. And Herbivore is one of our favorite spots out here. There was an old sandwich spot that we used to go to with our friends in Animosity that was called Love and Hate. It's kind of like an Asian-owned sandwich shop. They did this really good veggie chicken sandwich. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. We're all over it.
Very cool.
We've got our finger on that pulse big time.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of our joys of touring is, discovering good food and coffee spots, record stores for me,
Definitely. We have some good record stores.
I'll never forget the first time I went to Amoeba Records, I was here.
It's awesome. So you guys we've been pretty lucky to see you guys play in the Bay a few times, like over the past couple of years, at the Oakland Metro, the Warfield, here at the Regency Ballroom. Do you have a favorite venue or any sort of like memorable venue moments that you could share with us?
Well, I have a memory from the Pound. Remember the Pound? We were playing there 2 nights with Bleeding Through and Every Time I Die. We were playing the song Autodidact, which was off Alaska, and there's a very gnarly, very intense, you have to be very focused for this like instrumental section in the middle of the song, and it was just getting to the part, and out of the corner of my eye I see this kid coming out of the crowd, and he just happens to like somersault out of the crowd and completely kick me in the balls. And I went falling back, kind of like catching myself on the drums, and then kind of propping myself back up just to like start this instrumental section without like losing a beat, just wincing and being so sad. And of course this kid had no idea, and he was just flopping around in the crowd, and it was a rough way to end that song. And I always remember that about the Pound in San Francisco.
It's a special place.
Yeah, we've always had good shows here. I mean, Slim's is always great, and yeah, we had fun at the Metro, which was, we'd played at the old Metro, and I guess that was one of the newer spots. I thought it was fun. It was a gnarly vibe in there. I mean, it was good.
Awesome, very cool. So this question's a little bit more about kind of Between the Buried and Me itself and the project. So would you consider Between the Buried and Me to be like teleological, or meaning that there's going to be some point at which you've reached kind of the like conclusion of the growth of the band, or do you feel like you'll just constantly be evolving over time?
Yeah, I feel like the main theme of the band is, we embrace the progressive rock attitude, and Yes, who, constantly, mainly King Crimson, who have been a band since the late 60s, and, every decade we're going through multiple revisions, like sound or otherwise, but it was all in the name of really pushing themselves as musicians, really furthering the art of what they were doing. And, I just bought tickets yesterday morning. I woke up at 7:30 to get them to see King Crimson for the first time in Chicago for my 30th birthday weekend, and I'm just thrilled. I mean, the fact that there's going to be guys on stage that are 70 or pushing 70 who, have been doing this a really long time and are still playing, avant rock, metal, weird stuff, and to such large crowds is extremely, extremely inspiring. So that's just, people that exist like that alone, is just, always fuel for us. I don't think we're at a point even, I'm just about to turn 30. We're about to write our, I think, 7th full-length record, but like we haven't reached a comfortable spot, and that's the whole point. Is not like that shouldn't exist. You shouldn't be comfortable. You shouldn't be able to just pound out stuff. It's a process. It takes a long time. Over the span of a record cycle, and then we usually take 7-8 months to write and record a record. And there's a lot of growth that happens over there, so yeah, I would say that's the whole point of this band, is to not repeat ourselves and just be moving forward. So
that's awesome, very cool. So one final question: when you guys are doing your 25th anniversary tour, what do you hope that will look like, and where do you see your sound at that point?
Oh, who knows? I mean, it'll be interesting to see, because at this point, and what year is it? We're about 12 years into the band right now, 12, 13 years, it really doesn't feel comfortable to mix in songs from the first 2 albums, 3 albums, really. I mean, it's a stretch. You know, we play Selkies off Alaska pretty regularly, and if we try to mix something older in, it just goes over the head of the people, you know, and it's so different than everything else that we're playing. It just, you know, it's kind of like, okay, that was an era of the band, we did it. This was another era, and this is another, you know. And thankfully, we're able to mix stuff from at least, you know, Colors, Great Misdirect, and the Parallax stuff all goes together really well. And at the 25-year point, who knows? Who knows if playing a song off Colors is going to make sense with what we're doing then? You know, I would hope what we're doing then is drastically, you know, 100 million times different than Colors, but, you know, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to answer some questions, and we can't wait to see you tonight.
Yeah.
In the awesome show.